Back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Nick. Now, in an atmosphere of heightened racial tension and amid growing debate over the seeming militarization of the American police, there's still one photograph being talked about. This image behind me of a woman confronting U.S. police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has gone viral. Now, it's just one of the many iconic photos synonymous with peaceful protests over the decades, which has changed the course of discussion or our response, in fact, to world events. Well, Wilton Jackson is an award-winning African-American journalism student at the University of Baton Rouge. He joins us now from Louisiana. Now, tell us a little bit about what you make of this picture. The woman in it is Leisha Evans. It's a photograph that was taken by Jonathan Bachman. It's been described as a legendary picture, one that's an iconic image, in fact, of the struggle in Baton Rouge in the press. How is it playing out where you are?
Well, honestly, it definitely is an iconic picture because when you think about it, like when you look at other things that are going on in the particular area, like when you see protests in different other news outlets, you'll see that you'll see different people, protesting, hollering, showing their anger and their feelings about everything that's going on. But in that picture, Evan, she's just standing there. Like, she's standing there with grace and poise as if nothing bothers her. Like, she has no worry in the world of what's about to happen to her or what could happen to her. So to see her protest and stand there in the way that she does, it speaks volumes, not only for her, but for the African-American community itself.
Right. In fact, it's been compared to the pictures of the student protester who stopped tanks during the Tiananmen Square massacre, the Chinese army on Chang'an Boulevard. So this is a photograph that's being described as one that will be in history and art books from this time. So how do you think images like this capture the social discontent that is out there?
It definitely captures the social content because, like, it's one thing to actually, as African Americans and students itself, and even just adults, period, like to see different things on the news. But when you can actually stand there and visualize and look at this picture, it makes you think about things differently. And so when you put this picture, like you just said, it will be in history books and art books in the years to come. It's powerful because, like, she's standing there regardless of everything that's going on. Like, she knows that at any point in time that she could be killed. And so to see her stand there with so much grace and so much calmness in the midst of everything, it just speaks volumes. And it should serve as a lesson for African Americans to take heed to what she's doing and saying, you know what, like, I know a fellow brother or sister has been killed, but at the same time, let's look at what Miss Evans is doing, But like I said before, at one point in time, I've told some of my friends this, like, the problems that are going on in the African American community, it doesn't just start, right there in the streets. It starts at home. It starts
Indeed. And how to protest peacefully, I guess, is the other part of this picture, the important message it's conveying. Thank you so much for that, Charles Jackson, there in Baton Rouge. And with me now is Edmund Terracopian. He's a winner of the British Press Awards Photographer of the Year. His iconic images of the London bombings 11 years ago are known worldwide. Now, Edmund, let's talk about this picture. It's right behind us now, and as I said earlier, it's being described as a legendary picture that will be used, in history as well as in art books. As an award-winning photographer, are you inclined to agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an image which rises above a sort of a normal newspaper image. Mm-hmm. It has that sort of special quality of provoking thought, I think it's going to last the test of time and become an iconic right. shot. It's thoughtful. It shows immense strength in the most elegant way. We've got two fully geared up police officers about to trample this woman down by the looks of it. Right. And she's still sort of stood there with poise and elegance and grace.
And she described herself afterwards as being sort of a vessel of God. Now, there's another photo, in fact, when we're speaking about photography, the images and the messages they convey, one that defines our times, a photo that crystallizes the migrant crisis, and it's one that I should say viewers would find fairly distressing, that of 3-year-old Aylan Kurdi's lifeless body washed up on a beach. Now, you say that this is an image that you think is incredibly important. Tell us why, and do you think it takes shocking images like this to really get people out of their complacency, to sit up and take notice of an issue that is important, like the migrant crisis?
Absolutely. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the strongest images taken certainly in the last decade, if not longer. And as soon as the picture appeared on the front pages, I saw the Independent front page first with the image on it, and it completely stopped me. I actually started crying when I saw it, because it has that power. And often people don't really understand what refugees are and how difficult life can be, and sometimes the right-wing press paints a different picture, and they're coming here to steal our jobs or free NHS, that kind of stuff. And people don't realise that, people don't realise that the difficulties that refugees go through, especially now with the crisis in Syria, and it's so tough that people are willing to cross seas in rubber dinghies.
But let me just jump in here, because obviously we've got the internet age at a time when we've got access with so many different photographs out there. Do you think people are getting inured to some of these shocking images? Very briefly, if you can.
I don't think so. I think what happens is, with the millions of images out there on a daily basis, things get diluted down. But I think the makings of a proper photograph, and then the makings of an iconic photograph, which we're talking about, at the highest level, still takes an immense skill set.
Thank you so much for that, Edmund Terokopian, for your thoughts there to talk about these photographs. And that's it for this edition of Impact. Stay with us. We'll be back at the top of the hour with more headlines.